Mad Wolf here. No joke, this is the third time I've done this video. My arm is hurting. So, I'm trying to keep my thoughts on track, but there's a lot going on, and it's hard for me to really think about what needs to be said or anything like that. So, an update going on is I have not been on YouTube for a while. I am trying to figure out what to do about that, because I've done a lot of Wolfenstein 3D mods. I know there's a lot more mods out there, but it's hard for me to really remember what I've done and what I haven't done. Certain things, it's a pain in the butt to get it working. Now, I'd like to go back to work on Jolenstein, but I don't even know what I should work on or anything like that. And it also makes me mad. Like, I get on Twitter and I see people being like, how is YouTube or Twitch not a real job? And it's like, first of all, I work for minimum wage, which is $14 an hour. Luckily, I'm getting promoted, so I'm getting more hours. I'm going to be working a different shift. But, yeah. So, that's a guaranteed income. In all the years that I've done YouTube and Twitch, which I left Twitch because of all the stupid crap that's on there, I have not been paid 1 cent. I have not been paid anything for anything I created through YouTube or Twitch. Even Patreon, Patreon, which was used to support work like this. Which I put a lot of hours into the artwork. I put a lot of hours into writing. I think this is like 330 pages or something. It's an inch thick about. Yeah, no one really supported. I had 2 backers who wound up supporting me, but it was because I was supporting them. So basically, it just balanced out to nothing. I was not paying anything out, and I was not receiving anything. I've been suggested, and it's infuriating to think about. I don't think said person was trying to infuriate me, but Josh, have you considered doing audiobooks? Their reason? Well, I don't really have time to read. I find it infuriating because I feel reading is a choice. You can do it whenever. If you're waiting at a doctor's appointment, you can read books, you can read magazines, you can do whatever. If going to bed, you can read. You can read at the breakfast table or the dinner table or whatever. So I do think reading is a choice. So when people say, I don't have time to read, I want it to be read to me, I'm like, this sounds very lazy. This sounds like, by the way, this is my son Adrian and my wife, but it sounds like, Daddy, can you read me a bedtime story? That's seriously what that reminds me of, but with grown-ass adults. I understand, once again, I can understand, hey, I enjoy the stories, I can enjoy, all this, but I'm driving to work or whatever. That I can understand. Except, a lot of those audiobooks you still pay for. Me uploading, reading chapters, and doing character voices and all that stuff, I'm like, okay, so you want my book for free. This is maybe, I think, $12 on Amazon. I'm not advertising or anything, but you can find my work on Amazon. Just, look up my name. If you want Kindle, which is downloadable to any smartphone, I believe you can download the Kindle store or Kindle app through Apple. I don't know, because I don't use Apple. Apple kind of sucks in my opinion. But Android devices, I believe you can use your computers to read Kindle. Tablets, that's a big thing. It's actually like $3. $3 American. Maybe 2 or 1. And honestly, hell, with Amazon, you can actually get points. Once again, this video is not sponsored or anything like that, but if you use Bing and you connect your Microsoft account or whatever, and you do Bing searches, you can rack up points and cash those points in for $5 coupons off Amazon. Any Amazon purchase, you could just be like, hey, $5 gift card. Simply for doing like Google searches on Bing. So when people are like, hey, yeah, Mad Wolf, Josh, can I get this in a audiobook on YouTube for free? Once again, I wrote over 300 pages. I put all this hours into designing the artwork. On Patreon, no one backed it up. No one supported it. That feels kind of like spitting in my face. Thank you. So that actually makes me not really want to work on anything, to be honest. Just going back to doing my part-time job, and she's not doing her part-time job simply because she's on maternity leave. I'm not trying to make her feel guilty or anything like that, right. But once again, being with this little one is what's important right now. Money can be damned or anything like that, but when people spit in my face for what I spend hours working on for a hobby that I really don't get paid anything for, it's not a job for me. I get nothing out of it. It's very insulting. Very insulting. But it goes back, I don't know what to do for YouTube. I am probably going to be doing Doom 3 a little bit later today. I'll probably put up a blanket so, he doesn't get scared or anything with the demons. I really enjoy Doom 3 in VR. I really enjoy Doom 3, period. But it's another one is, every time I get on Twitter, it's always something stupid. It's like this abandoned game. I don't know anything about this. People are trying to connect dots to Hideo Kojima, and from what I've gathered, people are not really even having much reason to connect it to Hideo Kojima. The game developers are even saying Hideo Kojima is not involved in this. They might have drawn inspiration, sure, but even the trailer I watched is literally like a first-person game in the woods, and they're complaining how you have nothing to survive, and you're weak, and you're pathetic, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, this does not sound fun. And then you've got crazy religious people and everything, and I'm just like, this is not how they marketed Silent Hill. This is not how Hideo Kojima marketed Silent Hills, which is not even his franchise. So I'm just like, oh no, this just seems like people are getting angry at religion, and I think people should be entitled to their beliefs. I'm not going to argue their beliefs. I'm not going to tell them what they should or should not believe. But I don't understand the hype of this. I'm like, I am not seeing anything here that is gravitating me towards this game. And people are like, Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima has a tendency of creating intrigue. It doesn't matter what his game is. Death Stranding, you could complain about that game. It's literally delivering packages across the destroyed country after a Big Bang thing. Like, what the hell even is this? I don't even know what that is. But at the same time, that trailer was very intriguing. The scientist with the baby in a capsule, and then here's Mads Mikkelsen going after him. They got this weird thing going on in their eyes. It's very Metal Gear. And it's like, what the hell is this? I'm more intrigued with this. Abandoned, I am not seeing anything intriguing. I'm just like, okay, this is a game that exists. Okay. Even the narration of that story, I'm like, no. I was more intrigued with Resident Evil 8 because vampires and werewolves and how they revealed that. And seriously, that was more Hideo Kojima than Abandoned feels. Oh, this guy has an eye patch. People can have eye patches. The funny thing is, Solid Snake did not have an eye patch. Liquid Snake did not have an eye patch. Actually, now that I think about it, no one in Metal Gear Solid 1 had an eye patch. So when the whole eye patch thing started happening in 2, I know, technically it happened in Metal Gear 1 and 2, which was not released here in the States. But when the whole eye patch thing happened, in 2 it felt fine. In 3 it felt fine because they're explaining the character of Big Boss. In 4, it felt forced. Oh, hey, old Snake, here's an eye patch camera. I'm like, you're forcing this shit now. Sorry, I do try to watch my language in front of him, but I just get so damn irritated. I don't know. I don't feel Eye Patch Man connects Abandoned to Metal Gear Solid. I don't care. Nothing about Abandoned really sticks out to me. I'm still waiting on Kena. I'm still waiting on Gran Turismo 7. I like Returnal. Returnal's pretty cool on PS5. So another thing is I'm seeing Xbox being trendy. And I'm not trying to hate on people who like Xboxes, but I'm just like, what's the point? Because Xbox is releasing games, Microsoft is releasing Xbox games for other systems. Super Lucky's Tale, which was like a cute little platformer, kind of Mario-esque. Mario-esque? It's more like Mario than Banjo-Kazooie, but it feels kind of Mario-y. And it's aimed at little kids. It's on the Switch. And it was originally an Xbox exclusive. Also for PC, because Microsoft. I have Gears, Killer Instinct, Horizon, Gears, Killer Instinct, Horizon. I have something else. Not Halo. I'm not a big Halo fan. But Sea of Thieves. That's what I was thinking of. These are Xbox exclusives. I have them on computer because of Windows 10 and the Microsoft Store. I don't understand the point of Xbox. Even PS5, like, I am a big fan of the PS5. It has some really cool exclusives, like, I don't know, Ratchet and Clank, Medieval, Returnal. Hell, it pisses me off that fans demanded Horizon Zero Dawn be ported to PC, and now they were trying to do it with Bloodborne. But I seriously kind of feel like, guys, we need console exclusives for a reason to buy these consoles. Otherwise, there's no reason for Sony to be making PlayStations, there's no reason for Microsoft to be making Xboxes, and there's no reason for Nintendo to be making Switches. If you don't have reasons to buy consoles or even have the competition going, there's really no reason for it. So, and the games that I enjoy on PlayStation, I enjoy them because of PlayStation. Like, once again, Medieval. I would like Jersey Devil to come back. Actually, a lot of old PlayStation games that I'd like Sony to bring back. Let's see, Jersey Devil. Blasto was fun. Although that one was voiced by Phil Hartman, who unfortunately passed. There's actually a lot of cool ones that PlayStation tried to do. I love Croc to return. etc., blah, blah, blah. And another reason why I have a PS5 over a Xbox One X, or whatever they're called now, it's because of VR. I really do feel VR is the next step in video games, especially first-person shooters. It'd be cool to play a motorcycle simulator in VR, an attack helicopter simulator in VR. I would love to do that. Xbox had the Kinect, but rather than improving on it, what people didn't like about it, or anything like that, or even coming up with their own VR thing, now I have hiccups, they're just not doing anything. And there's some Kinect games I actually liked. I liked Kinect Sports on 360. I have a 360 right underneath that N64 there. I don't know if you see it. I like Kinect Sports. There's one called, I think, Rise of Nightmares. Nicole, do you remember that one, Rise of Nightmares?
I think I kind of do.
It was like right when we were kind of hooking up.
Yeah.
She was really into horror back then. Matter of fact, when we hooked up, she was like, I love Silent Hill. I love Resident Evil. So I'm like, oh, okay. And we're at GameStop, and I'm like, oh, here's one, Rise of Nightmares. Looks like it's made, I think it's made by Sega. But I'm like, okay, this sounds cool. I have a Kinect. I got it for free. Let's check it out. And it's actually pretty cool. I actually like Rise of Nightmares. I haven't played it in forever because we live in a second story apartment and it's pretty rude and disrespectful to be running and jumping and all these things with neighbors downstairs. So, but I enjoyed these games on Connect. Fable the Journey I thought was boring. I was pretty mad that the new Fable game that was supposed to be for the Xbox One, which was supposed to be like multiplayer, they canceled. So maybe they're going to be doing something about that. I don't know. But yeah, for me, I'm just kind of like, what's the point of the Xbox? Because if you could just buy them for PC, like, why not just turn Xbox into an affordable gaming PC? Make it with Windows. I mean, it's Microsoft. So that, I don't know. I think that should be Xbox's next big step, is just turning it into a gaming PC. Because they even have the Microsoft Store and the Xbox thing on Windows 10. So I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm also kind of seeing my teeth and it looks kind of hideous, to be honest. But I don't know. So that's why I did a PS5, is because the games stand out more. Spider-Man is a good one. I'm looking. I know I said Medieval. There's one called Blood and Truth, which I think is exclusive to the PlayStation VR. I was intrigued with Farpoint, but the level design seems very linear, and it got boring very quickly. It's a cool game, though. I do like Ratchet and Clank. Returnal is cool. I do have Sackboy. Godfall. Godfall was pretty cool. But, I don't know. I like the exclusives. That's why I have a PlayStation. I don't know why Xbox is trending. The Steam Deck thing, I don't care. I'm not a Valve fan. Even the games that are made by Valve, I'm like, Half-Life is kind of boring. It kind of reminds me of Duke Nukem, but not funny. Yay. But hey, in Duke Nukem 3D, you can actually activate all the light switches too, and you can hit the pool cues and all these things. And I'm like, yeah, but it was funny. That game was hard. I mean, some of the enemies take like 20 bullets just to kill. So, depending on your difficulty. But I don't know, I never really got into Half-Life. I don't really care about Team Fortress. I don't really care about Left 4 Dead. I don't know if really there's anything by Valve that I really, really enjoy. I don't know. I really just don't know. I guess Portal's nifty. But should Valve be making a Steam Deck? I've had issues with Steam in general, so I don't care. Nintendo Switch, that was trending for a while. I don't care. Why? Because I already have a Nintendo Switch, and I'm still pissed at Nintendo for not doing Metroid Prime 4. Are we getting a new Metroid game? Yes, we are. Metroid Dread, which is conveniently being released the same day as the new Switch. The Switch OLED or whatever it is. I'm not going to drop another $400 on a new Switch. That's dumb. I'm sorry. If people want to do it, if they don't already have a Switch or whatever, fine. But, like, I'm also kind of disappointed with the Switch. Not necessarily with the technology or anything, but Nintendo isn't really doing anything. They have so many IPs, and they're not doing much with it. They could do a Odyssey 2, a Super Mario Odyssey 2. They could do a new Donkey Kong. They could do a new Star Fox. They could do a new Zelda. Instead, they're doing all these remasters and re-releases and all that, because it kind of feels like easy money. And for me, I'm like, I have some of these games for the Wii and the Nintendo 64, and honestly, the big one that I was waiting for that made me buy a Switch was Prime 4. We're not getting that. We're getting Metroid Dread. And Prime 4, they said, oh, well, we're scrapping that and restarting development all the way over because we were not happy how the developers were developing it. Well, ever since then, we have not seen screenshots. We have not heard any news. We have not heard anything. And I'm pretty pissed about it. because I like Metroid Prime. There's rumors going around that there's a Metroid Prime trilogy being worked on by Nintendo, but I like how they're getting this information, and yet the information is kind of hard to track back to the sources. Nintendo is holding off because they're not sure it's the proper time to release it. Well, technically, you already made it for the Wii. So it would not be too hard to grab the Wii game and port it to the Switch. It really shouldn't even take that long. The fact that Nintendo's not shutting down these rumors, I don't know what the hell they're doing. The fact that Nintendo hasn't released a Metroid Prime trilogy, even though I'm pretty sure it would make a lot of fans happy due to, I'm going to say, Prime 4 being in development hell, not happening. It would probably make people happy. Even Metroid Dread, like, I love Metroid. Metroid is a great series, but it seriously looks like a 3DS game. It looks like a DS game to me. It looks like, hey, we've gone a total 5 steps backwards. So why did I buy this $300 Switch? I like Pokemon Sword. I like Mario 3D World, which was also for the Wii U. It took years for them to port that. Why? I don't know. That was ridiculous. I like Mario Maker, once again, originally on the Wii U, and had some features on the Wii U that I miss, like playing with the Amiibos, whatever the hell it is. But playing Mega Man, playing Samus, you could do all this in the Mario Maker. No, let's remove that feature. Hell, I want to play Koopa, or I want to play Bowser again. No, let's remove that. Of course. So, I'm kind of mad at Nintendo. I do think Nintendo needs to get their shit together. Like I said, I bought a Switch. I fell for the marketing thing. Let's talk about Metroid Prime 4. Of course, because you haven't... Hell, I love a Star Fox Zero port to the Switch. They're not doing it. That was one of the main games that I bought a Wii U on. And then I'm like, I'm going to upgrade to a Switch because they're re-releasing all these Switch games or Wii U games like Mario Kart. And hell, they could do a new Mario Kart, but they're not doing that. They did an augmented reality one. Yay. Fun. I don't know. I compare that to like the Kinect stuff. I don't want to drive Mario Kart around. I look at this floor every day. Why would I want to do that? They could do a new Donkey Kong. They could do a new Star Fox. They could do a new Kid Icarus. They could do a new F-Zero. I thought they were going to do an F-Zero. And then the last news that I heard was the guy who created F-Zero left Nintendo. Or something. And I'm just like... Okay, so I guess we're not getting an F-Zero. I have no clue what Nintendo is doing. But... honestly, I'd rather play Nintendo 64. I'd rather play GameCube. GameCube was great. The Wii, people may hate the Wii, but the Wii had some good games for it. The Switch, yeah, I have some Switch games, but most of them are not made by Nintendo. Most of them are like I just got Zoids. Zoids is cool. It's cool to see Zoids is kind of coming back mainstream because I like Zoids. Even though no one really knows what Zoids are. They're basically like these model kits that you put together. They're like robot dinosaurs and animals, and then you wind them up and then they can walk. But in the game, they battle and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm mad at Nintendo. I'm not even mad at Microsoft. I'm just like, guys, you need to do something to get your business to have good competition against Sony. Because Sony has now, I think Sony has announced a new PlayStation VR. Sony has some great exclusives, and it's looking like people are actually getting their hands on PlayStations. That's another one that angered the crap out of me every time I got on Twitter, was all these people who show off these massive game collections. I mean, hell, I have a game collection, but it's not that massive. And yeah, I have a Sega Genesis and Nintendo games in boxes, but who cares? But they show off entire walls of Nintendo games and Sega Saturn games and PlayStation games and collections that are well within like thousands of dollars. And then they want to complain about scalpers selling PS5s and Xboxes for an extra $50 to $100. And I'm like, yeah, I paid an extra $50 from a scalper on eBay, and I enjoy the system. I've enjoyed the system for months. It has had a few issues, but I've gotten to play it. People throwing a fit about it, and then they spend $300 on a complete in the package Nintendo 64 game where like you paid an additional $75 for a freaking cardboard box. Don't get me wrong, some of those instruction manuals are important because there's some controls that absolutely make no sense, especially Nintendo 64. But, hell, there's my Nintendo 64 collection. Just 2 rows. No boxes. Just the games. And I still enjoy the games. I buy the games to play the games. I don't keep them in boxes, go on the shelf, and look cool. The Sega Saturn games. Some of those were expensive. I think the most I've ever paid for a game was like $250. So if I'm willing to pay $250 for a Sega Saturn game, which is an obsolete console that was decimated by the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64, even though I do think Saturn had some better games. Oh, baby 80. The truth of the matter is can I complain about spending an extra $50 or $100 on a PS5 because of scalpers? No. It's called supply and demand. I'm sorry, I cannot get behind that. I cannot get behind people complaining to spend an extra $50 to $100 when they will spend thousands, on Panzer Dragoon Orta or Magical Knight Ray Earth or some obscure thing for PlayStation that no one even plays for 80. I just want him to have some good games when he gets older. Some good games and some good toys. And I've been finding some. But yeah, it's just every time I get on Twitter, every time I get online, every time I do anything, I'm just like, why is nothing ever good enough for anybody? Or, I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts. This is my review. I have a lot of things going on. Tomorrow I go to downtown to get the actual birth certificate through the city. She has a doctor's appointment. Another doctor's appointment on Tuesday. And that's where I'm like, dude, he's clearly more important than the stupid stuff, on Twitter or Instagram or whatever. And, oh, audiobooks. And just like, dude, you don't even support what I do. You show up and stream, but I'm not trying to call anybody out. People are entitled to do what they want to do, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of feels like I'm not allowed to do what I want to do, or I'm not going to be supported for doing what I want to do, or whatever. But man, I don't know. But it seriously puts my brain in brain fart mode, and I'm gonna play some Necromunda because I haven't played that at all yet. And I'm back to work tomorrow at 4 a.m. in the morning, so, and also my voice is going out. I'm also getting hungry, so crap, I might want to, this is what I mean about, there's a lot of crap going on, and I cannot think what I need to do straight, okay? So, anyway, that's what I'm doing. I hope you found this video enlightening or whatever, and until I see you in the next show, whenever the hell that might be, just remember, stay cool.